Last weekend's victory at MK Dons has breathed new life into Rovers' survival charge. The hope now is they can use their first away win of the season to put a run together with 9 games in the next 4 weeks. This weekend, Gary Mcsheffrey's men go up against a Plymouth side in something of a transition themselves after Ryan Lowe's departure to Preston North End. It's another chance to put more points on the board as Rovers take on Plymouth Argyle. Hello, welcome back to the Eco Power Stadium. It's good to have you with us for the latest edition of the Inside Rovers pre-match show. Joining me to look ahead to this weekend's game against Plymouth Argyle, editor of the Doncaster Free Press, Liam Hoden, and Rovers defender, Ollie Younger. Ollie, fresh from your debut last weekend, how have things been this week?
Yeah, I've loved it. Obviously, it's been a good week with a good result, and I'm really settling in well.
Liam, there's been a bit of a bounce about the place as well, hasn't there, on the back of that victory?
It certainly has. You felt it straight away after full time last Saturday, and I think it really has continued through this week.
A busy show coming up then. Let's take a look at what's ahead tonight. We take a look at the highlights from a crucial win at MK Dons. Gary Mcsheffrey talks embracing challenges. New recruit Adam Clayton explains why he chose Rovers as his next club.
We're optimistic we can get on the front foot and try and start this comeback.
Former Rovers midfielder Martin Woods discusses his new role in the academy, and we look ahead to a visit from Plymouth. Ollie, it's been a week or so now that you've been with Rovers. How have you found it settling in? I suppose as a young man it's a big transition to make.
Yeah, I've just loved it, to be fair. The lads have been really welcoming. Obviously we're straight into a game, which is good, into the thick of things. We've had a good week's training this week and then look forward to Saturday again.
Did that help you get your feet under the table quicker? I mean, sometimes if you make the move in the summer, for example, you've got 5 or 6 weeks in preparing yourself to make your debut and making it a little bit easier, but the fact you were thrown straight in, was that good for you in the long run, do you feel?
100%, yeah. I think it's just given me just literally go in and just crack on. Like, go in and just do what I'm good at, show what I can do. So yeah, I think rather than thinking about it and maybe building up to games, I just think to be thrown straight in is exactly what I want, and it's a good thing.
And what do you think it says about your mentality that you were willing to move out of what perhaps was a bit of a comfort zone at Sunderland, where you're still working your way towards getting in the first team, to come in here where Gary Mcsheffrey's made no secret of the fact he sees you as someone who's ready now?
Yeah, I think it's just good. Like, obviously I've made it known I want to play games, so obviously to be thrown straight into it and to come here and get the opportunities is massive, yeah.
And Liam, we've spoken as well, particularly with the type of player Gary Mcsheffrey's looking to bring in, about the player of Ollie's age, someone who's young and hungry and wants to make an impact.
Yeah, I think this has been a direction that the club's been looking to go into, offering that real first steps into senior football for promising young players like Ollie, and from what we've seen so far, it's been a good move.
How easy has it been, Ollie, to settle in? It's a fairly young group, isn't it, with a little bit of experience in there as well, but having lads that are of a similar age to you, maybe a similar footballing background as well, how did that help?
I think that always helps if you've got lads similar age and similar backgrounds, like you say, because you can compare and you can kind of get each other's feelings about that. So that's been good as well. But then obviously you've got some more senior players who've been really welcoming, good to learn off. So yeah, it's been a real nice mix, to be fair.
Yeah, of course, Ollie's debut came in last weekend's first away win of this season against MK Dons. Here are the best bits from a battling team performance at Stadium MK. Ollie, a brilliant debut for yourself, a win, a clean sheet, 3 points on the board. Couldn't have asked for much more.
No, exactly. Obviously, a good win, a clean sheet, which, like you say, as a defender, I like to pride myself on. So yeah, it couldn't have been any better, and against a good team in MK Dons as well.
What were the nerves like the night before? Were you sort of calm, composed, or were you anxious to just get it done and dusted?
No, to be honest, I was just excited. I really just wanted to go out there and prove and show what I've got, to be fair, and just get on the pitch and play. And I think it went all right. So hopefully, same again this weekend.
Did you have any targets for the game in general, or were you just thinking, just do your business, get about it, try and keep a clean sheet, try and win the game? Yeah,
well, obviously as a defender, I always try to keep a clean sheet. Keeping the ball out of the net is your job, isn't it? At the end of the day, so yeah, just do my best. Obviously, it was a big bonus getting a clean sheet and a win, so that's all I can ask.
You and Joseph Olowu only had a few days to prepare for the game, but it looked like you'd been playing together for years. Was that just a combination that clicked straight away?
I think it must have been, because yeah, we've not done much training together or anything. That was obviously the first time we were in together. So yeah, I think our relationship there was quite good. I think we were moving well together in the line, getting up and down, moving across, organising. So I think looking forward to playing with them.
The type of performance we've maybe not seen from Rovers this season, a surprise and a pleasant one for everyone at the game.
Certainly was, but I do think the two previous performances, Wigan and Cambridge, we were seeing something building. I mean, Rovers gave Wigan a really good game here on that day, and could easily have taken something for it. A slightly different approach, but that high energy, fully committed performance that Gary Mcsheffrey's spoken so much about over these last few weeks. That's what we delivered, and it's like culminated last Saturday, in a performance, a full 90-minute performance, which we've just not seen this season, and it delivered the goods, and MK Dons showed kind of what they were all about, but they just couldn't break that down. Fantastic debut from Ollie, fantastic defensive performance all round, and really is something to build on, and it certainly has raised that kind of hope that there's still fight left in this team.
Ollie, you got the cut on the head early on. Was that when you knew you'd arrived in a Doncaster Rovers shirt as a centre half?
Yeah, I think it was 7 minutes in, so yeah, it just comes with the job. I'm not bothered about it. If anything, it's probably a good thing. Obviously, it makes you more focused and it makes you want to show if you're a bit more hard, if you get what I mean. So yeah, no, I'm not bothered about it. Bring it on, yeah.
There was probably the one scary moment in that MK Dons game, wasn't there, where Lewis has come and you've left it, it's gone through his legs. For any fans at home who are obviously watching on or who were at the stadium, talk us through what sort of the process of what's gone on from your side of things.
Yeah, well, it was scary. It certainly had me scared. So basically, he just shouted, screamed keepers early, and I've ducked, and he's dropped it through his hands. And luckily, Noiley, as he was there all game, to be fair, when he was needed, he was there to clear off the line. But we both had a chat about it and obviously gone after. I think I probably should just head it, but obviously that's just what comes with building relationships. Obviously it's the first time we've played together, so I'm sure it won't happen again.
Do you feel that you weren't like luck though, with the way that you played, not just yourself but as a defensive unit, that there was that one moment where it could have gone against you, and maybe in weeks gone by, Liam, it may have gone against Rovers, but when Noiley's there to clear it off the line, do you start then to think, yeah, you know what, this is our day? Yeah,
obviously I think you need a bit of luck in general in football, and obviously it's not really been going our way at the minute into the games coming up. Like, we've just been unlucky and it's just not quite happened, but obviously getting that bit of luck when we needed it, and obviously in a winning position, and then Noiley of course with a brilliant clearance. I think it all comes together nicely. So yeah, it's good that he was there obviously, and we appreciate he was there, and it doesn't make me look bad.
Now, Gary Mcsheffrey's side have a lot of work still ahead of them this season, but he's urging his players to relish the responsibility of keeping the club up.
I mean, you're beating one of the league's best teams last weekend. You've now got 5 of the top 10 in the space of 15 days. I mean, just how daunting a prospect is that?
It doesn't. No, it's exciting. It's exciting. These are the reasons you're in. You want to be in football. You want to play top teams, top games. So it doesn't faze me, and that's not being arrogant or anything. That's just saying, yeah, we don't fear playing good teams. You have to embrace it and enjoy it.
Thoughts on Plymouth? I mean, they've had a change of boss, of course, too, this season. Form's been a little bit more inconsistent of late. What do you make of them?
Still a real threat. Still got good attackers, good midfielders, aggressive defenders, make good runs in behind defences. So still scoring goals. They've leaked a few of late, but they're still scoring lots of goals. So real organised team that work really hard, and it's going to be a real tough game, and one that we're going to have to be right at it, from the start to get what we want out of the game.
Liam, you touched earlier on, expectations have been raised slightly by that MK Dons victory. Important that nobody inside or outside the club gets too far ahead. There are, as I said earlier on, 9 games between now and the end of February. But what that does represent is a brilliant opportunity for Rovers to put a run together and get themselves out of the situation they're in at present. That's
what they've got to do. You know, there needed to be a starting point, and that's what last weekend's got to be. It was a very good one, and hopefully they can build on that. But yeah, we know the size of the task. You only have to look at the league table to see what's left to do just to put themselves back into real contention for getting out of this. But it'll only be done by putting a run together, and hopefully they can do that.
Ollie, how did the mood change once you'd got that win on Saturday? I imagine the dressing room was rocking afterwards. The first away win of the season, first clean sheet away from home in the league as well. It can provide a massive springboard, can't it, to go on to bigger and better things?
Obviously, yeah, it was a big boost, obviously, winning. I think, obviously, since I've come in, the mood anyway was quite good and everything was really positive anyway. So, obviously, to get that win now, I think gives everybody that bit more belief. And obviously, if we can take it on into the next game and then pick up a few results here and there, and it builds momentum, doesn't it? So, yeah, we look forward to the next game now.
Although it is a young group, you can still grow in belief just as quick as a 30-year-old player or anything like that, can't you? At one win, and all of a sudden you see things a lot differently.
Yeah, 100%, that's what I mean. Just having that belief, like you said, it's our first away win of the season, which is a good thing in itself now that we've got that win, and hopefully it's something to build on, so keep it up.
And Gary Mcsheffrey said as well, after the MK Dons game and before the Plymouth one, didn't he, the fact that, all right, yeah, there's a lot of tough fixtures in there, but there's no point being worried about them. You've simply got to tackle them head on. Yeah,
I think last Saturday showed that. I think, as I touched on earlier, the Wigan game. You know, I mean, Wigan, the form team in the division came here. They're far from had it all their own way. And as I said, Rovers could have got something out of that. There's no, you can't afford to be intimidated by anything in this situation. And they've shown on the pitch over the last week or so, last fortnight, that there's no reason to be intimidated.
Ollie, you've been in the dressing room at Sunderland, where in this division, every game they go into, they're seen as big favourites, aren't they? Can that provide a different pressure, do you feel? Because the teams that Rovers are coming up against in the next couple of weeks, the likes of Rotherham, Sunderland, Portsmouth, they're all expected to go out and win. So you're going in there as underdogs and there's no real pressure from the outside, just the pressure you put on yourselves.
Yeah, I think we've got a relish that opportunity. Obviously playing against the bigger and better teams, it's what you want to test yourself against, and if we can pick points up against them, then it's a real bonus. It shows the kind of level we want to get to and where we're at, so 100%.
Now, the addition of Adam Clayton in midweek fit the bill for the type of player Rovers have been looking to recruit in that holding midfield role, and the former Leeds midfielder has been explaining why Rovers are the right club for him.
About a week and a half ago, just got a call from the manager. He would like to come down and have a look at the place and meet everyone and stuff, and I did that, and then straight away went back and we said, let's try and get something sorted. You can tell there's some good people at the football club. It's a challenge that I want to be a part of.
The manager's spoken a lot about needing some experience, a bit of steel in that midfield department. Do you feel like you can bring that?
Yeah, well, hopefully I can bring that sort of experience I've had throughout my career, the scenarios I've been in, and bring that to the forefront and try and help everyone here, and hopefully they can help me be better than I am, and I can help them be better than they are. That's all we can try to do.
It's a relatively young group, sprinkled with a bit of experience, the likes of Tommy Rowe and Tom Anderson, the skipper as well. You're looking forward to adding your experience to it?
Oh yeah, of course. I think I learned a lot from sort of the experienced players when I was young. I still keep in touch with a lot of them, so I know how big an influence you can have on the younger player. And like I say, there's some very good young players there. So hopefully with that mix of experience and youth, we can get ourselves out of the situation we're in.
Liam, a lot's been made of that defensive midfield role since the summer, really. Richie Wellens, the first manager to try and get one in, and now Gary Mcsheffrey's gone and done it. Adam Clayton, 450 career games, 33 years of age, couldn't have got much more experience in there.
No, certainly not. You know, a player that's played the majority of his career at Championship level, had that season in the Premier League as well, where he made a big contribution for Middlesbrough. It's a really good signing. He's not played an awful lot of football in the last 12 months, but what he can bring both on the pitch and on the training ground as well is massive. And speaking to him, he's fully committed to this. He wants to make something of his time at Doncaster Rovers, and hopefully Rovers can benefit from that.
And I know Frank Sinclair, speaking to you, mentioned that how much Adam detailed the level of fitness he got, the work he'd been doing. Heard him say earlier on, getting up at 5 o'clock every morning to go on the treadmill in his garage to keep himself ticking over for when this opportunity came along.
That's great to hear. A player drop. He leaves a club and he's unemployed. It'll be easy just to do little bits, but he'd proven, and he came in with all the facts. He were willing to lay them out on the table, all the details and the stats of what he'd been doing, and it obviously backed up what Rovers were seeing in him in terms of what he would bring on the pitch, but showing that he's going to be ready to go sooner rather than later.
Ollie, I'm sure you've been aware of Adam Clayton from being around in the footballing world. And what's he been like since he's come in? From watching a couple of sessions, it seems like he's happy to sit in front of the back four, dictate, move people around if he needs to. Exactly, perhaps, what this young group needs.
Yeah, I think he'll bring a wealth of experience and leadership, which I think is good from what the team needs. It'll balance it out nicely. And obviously, he's a quality player. He's played, obviously, like we said, Championship for the majority of his career. Played in the Premier League as well. So them experiences, he needs to bring them out. Obviously, I think he will do to us younger players.
You see in the Premier League that the best teams have the best holding midfielders, don't they? So for you at centre-half, does it just provide you that extra bit of shield, that extra bit of protection when balls are coming through?
Definitely, if you've got someone in front of you who's doing the job really well, and especially a leader, which is a big thing as well, it makes everything 100% easier. Doesn't make you have to do as much. He gets cut out cut out at source. So I think he'll be a good addition to us, and I'm looking forward to playing with him.
Yeah, Mipo Odebeko as well in from West Ham this week. Gary Mcsheffrey getting his business done before the end of the transfer window. Probably not as much deadline day drama as we saw back in August.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully not. There could be a bit more business to be done as well. But yeah, hopefully not be the late one. I like this one. I like this signing. Gives Rovers. We know the attacking areas haven't been what you'd hope this season. I think we've seen better over these last few weeks with the addition of Kieran Agard and Josh Martin, and this is another one. A player that's got bags of potential. He got a great write-up from the Huddersfield boss, Carlos Corberan, who didn't play him an awful lot during his loan there, but he says he's fully ready to go in this second half of the season. And again, another one that Rovers can benefit from. Yeah,
on to signings off the field then. Former Rovers midfielder Martin Woods joined up with the academy in a coaching role recently. He's been talking about how good it feels to be back at Rovers.
So Martin, welcome back to Rovers. How does it feel to be back here and working within the academy?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously I moved back to the area about maybe 2 years ago now, and all settled in the area, so it's great to be back in a club that means so much to me.
The club have said that they've been monitoring you and they've been wanting you to come and join the academy for a while now. How did this move come around from your perspective?
Well, initially I spoke to Cops and Kirsty Calvin and obviously Cops, I don't need to say his name. So we had an initial conversation and it went really well, and said they wanted me to be part of things, which obviously I was up for. As I said before, it's a club that means a lot to me, so being back in the area, it was kind of a no-brainer to get started my kind of coaching journey.
You're with the under-11s as well. You've had a few weeks and sessions with them. What have you made to that age group overall?
Great. That all the boys are really keen to learn, and when you give them something, they go and carry it out in a great manner, and it's a great age group to have, and there's some good talent in there as well.
And at the minute, the academy's been really productive. There's a lot of people working their way up through the pathway and make it into the first team, so it's a really exciting time to be part of this academy.
Definitely, it is. Also, I'm doing a bit in the academy as well, and I'm doing a degree now in applied management, which I'm kind of 3/4 way through, so try to build little steps in the next stage of the journey whenever that may come, when I finally call it a day.
And you've met Tony Cook and that. What have you made to the staff behind the scenes within the academy?
Yeah, really good, really welcoming and helpful. I do a lot of the kind of work with Steve Welsh, who's been very good with me. Been doing a bit with young Cammy as well. He's in the same age group, who's been great and really helpful. So they've all really went out of their way to make me feel welcome again, and obviously try to learn little bits off them. because it's all new and fresh to me. So it's good to be learning the other side of things, and hopefully I can carry that on and learn a lot more in the months to come.
Liam, another former Rovers player and young coach getting his teeth into things in the academy. Good to see.
It really is. You know, there's been an awful lot of talk here about the identity of the club, you know, in recent months, and that adds to it. You know, having people within that academy helping bring through those younger players who know what it takes to play for this club, and play for this club at a very good level as well, where the club has been, where the club hopefully will get back to sooner rather than later. I think it's great to see. And
we've seen what those sort of roles in the academy can do for young potential managers, looking at Gary Mcsheffrey. Yeah, certainly can. It's a good. There's been some great work going on in the academy, you know, to beef it up, to get it, you know, that production line going under Tony Cook. So yeah, it's a great place to start your career. Ollie, all set then this weekend for a home debut, Plymouth Argyle, the visitors down here. Just how much are you looking forward to running out the tunnel for the first time? Yeah, I can't wait. Obviously it's been a week now, so I'm really looking forward to playing here. It'll be the first time, like you say, so hopefully we can replicate what happened last Saturday and get 3 points again this weekend. It's been a building process, Liam, hasn't it? We mentioned Rovers could have taken something from all of their last 3 games, really. They come up against a Plymouth team who are in a bit of a transition. Again, sympathise with them, with the fact Rovers have been in their position, having a manager pinched, if you like, and gone to a higher level. Ryan Lowe now doing great things with Preston North End. Stephen Schumacher's come in, just starting perhaps to find it a little bit tough. Yeah, they've had a phenomenal start to the season. I think they exceeded everybody's expectations with how well they've done, and obviously that's earned, Ryan Lowe's built his reputation over the last few years, but that's got him his move eventually to the Championship. They have struggled over the last month or so. You know, they've had a bit of bad luck with games being postponed, and the cup run has kind of caused that as well, and things have caught up with them a little bit. But this is good. I think it's a great time for Rovers to be facing them. You know, they're a little bit vulnerable. You know, they only got a point midweek at Fleetwood. Could have done Rovers a favour that night, but didn't manage to hold on to their lead in that one. So yeah, vulnerable. And this is, I think, Rovers being confident, this is a good one to go into. Yeah, when Rovers went to Plymouth in September, they were flying high, weren't they? Top of the league. They've got 3 former Rovers loanees in the ranks: Conor Grant, Niall Ennis and Jordan Houghton. A bit of a Rovers reunion for them. When you lose a manager like they did, it's always difficult, isn't it? Because you just lose that bit of an edge. We saw when we went down there, he's fist pumping in front of the home end, and when that is taken away from you, it can affect you. Of course it can, definitely. You know, it takes the wind out of everybody's sails a little bit. You know, Schumacher's part of that setup. You know, so they'll have had a fairly simple transition in that way, but you know, just takes that, as I say, that bit of wind out of your sails. You're losing a character like that who's brought so much success to the club. Ollie, it's back-to-back home games. We play Plymouth here on Saturday, Rotherham on Tuesday night, a big South Yorkshire derby. With so many games coming up, is it about just picking up as many points as you can, and at the end of that period you look back and go, right, okay, look where we are now, take stock again and push on for the final third of the season? Yeah, exactly that. I think just look at it game by game, look at each game. Can we take 3 points from each game? Obviously analyse the opposition, see what we can do to maximise our chances of getting 3 points, and then if we can come out of the next month, where I think it's 4 weeks in a row, isn't it, of 2 games a week, so if we can come out of that with a good amount of points, then it's a positive outcome. How much are you relishing going up against different strikers week in, week out, and having to do your homework well enough to keep them out? I know you keep a clean sheet last week, and obviously when you're doing every striker's different, aren't they, particularly at this level? Yeah, it's like even like you see last week against Isa, and then Connor Wickham comes on, like you get someone who's 6'4" and someone who's just 6 foot. So yeah, there's a different variety of strikers obviously across the leagues, and I think every game by game, different team styles will dictate that, whether they're long ball, whether they play on the floor. So it's a good opportunity to just test myself and come up against good strikers in the division. You mentioned what a win last weekend did for belief. What would another one on Saturday do for the group, do you feel? Oh, it'd be massive. It'd be a massive boost. I think it'd be the first time for back-to-back wins, which would be a big boost. Obviously, I think we are all positive at the minute, but just keep that momentum going, which I think is key. Liam, go on then. How do you see it going? I know I'm always positive, but I'm really positive about this one. I've got a really, really good feeling about it. Try not to get too carried away, but I do fancy Rover. 2-0. Liam, Ollie, thank you for your company. Thank you at home for watching as well. Come down and support the lads here at the Eco Power on Saturday afternoon as they go in search of back-to-back league victories when Rovers take on Plymouth Argyle.